Welcome to our gratitude tips from the EFR, which is Employee and Family Resources. My name is Bud Wassell. I am the coordinator of that program, and I'll tell you about that and a few other things and where you can find this information afterwards. But today is a quick 30-minute webinar on gratitude tips, which is part of our 10 days of gratitude. And as hopefully you've tuned into some of the other things that we've been doing. This is a link to Thrive at our on our intranet, and we have a section called Live and Recorded Resources, and that's where I'll be putting the slides if you want to reference or click into some of the links, and also the recordings. So I'll show you where to find that later. But there is something for every day of the 10 days that we put together, as well as our health coaches. So you can see the total schedule on the official gratitude, the 10 days of gratitude site, which is on our intranet, which is probably where you found this. But we do, as you can see, a number of different things that we've put together. There is a couple of recorded sessions. There's a meditation and there's a gratitude break. We did have something on the science, the benefits, but also reference a couple of things today. And there's a full guide which you can access, and then there's some tip sheets. So again, those will all be outlined on the official 10 Days of Gratitude site, but also on the Thrive My Wellbeing area, and also on the live and recorded resources. So why do we need to focus on gratitude? Well, it's hard to be grateful at times. There's so much negativity around us, and we are often looking at others. Social media doesn't really help with this, but often we're looking at others and we're comparing what's going on in our lives to others. And sometimes that can feel like we're focusing on the things that we don't have instead of the things that we do have. And so that's really the whole point, is to really try to focus on the blessings and the things that we already have. This isn't about necessarily creating things to be grateful for, but you can certainly make intentions to do that and do some things that help us get to those goals that we might have. But this is really about tuning into the things that we already have, the blessings, kind of the count your blessings idea. And in doing so, we can learn to override this negativity bias with gratitude practices. And the negativity bias, if you haven't heard of it, is just simply this, the tendency to put more weight on negative events compared to positive events. It's sort of hardwired into us. It's through our evolutionary process. Our brains have developed this way over time to be able to survive. And so it's just something that we do tend to focus on more negative things and react and think about and make decisions around negative experiences. And the problem is that even though our brain has evolved, this part of the brain, it's almost the reptilian, the small reactive part of the brain, still exists and has a major impact on how we think, respond, and feel. And that has a lot to do with the stress that we're all going through, the various kinds of things that we react to in the fight or flight response. And so, it's just part of what we're constantly dealing with. And I just simply point this out to say, we're kind of swimming upstream with some of this. It's not that easy at times, and we have to make a strong intention to do some of these things. But the point of today's session is really about, can we develop some practices, some meditations, or just simple gratitude breaks, or ways that we can pause and focus on gratitude to kind of tip the balance a little bit, so that we're focusing more on the positive things and savoring those things and putting ourselves in a position where those naturally occur, as opposed to focusing on the negative things that are all around us. So here are just some of the benefits. I mentioned that, as you can see, as you scan down this list, there are lots and lots of things, and really kind of affects all areas of our life. And this is all heavily researched, actually. Many studies have gone into this. In fact, gratitude is probably one of the strongest links, has one of the strongest links to well-being, happiness and well-being. And if you do access the slides, again, on that live and recorded resources page, there's a great video at the bottom there, The Amazing Effects of Gratitude. And that goes into it a little deeper. It's not very long. And it does reference some of the research. In fact, it's done by one of the leading researchers in the field, Dr. Robert Emmons. So I like this quote just to get us started into the gratitude focus by Brene Brown. I don't have to chase extraordinary moments to find happiness. It's right in front of me if I'm paying attention and practicing gratitude. And again, that's the point that I was talking about before. We have all these things already that we can take note of and be grateful for and savor a little bit and spend some time with them. And in fact, the research also shows that when we do that, when we savor these positive experiences, things that we are grateful for, it actually begins to create new neural pathways in our brain. So that's the point, is turning to those positive things that are going on already in our lives. And the more we do this, the more they surface naturally. So here are some prompts that I'd like you to just kind of review and maybe pick one or two out as you look down through this list. And when we do, we're going to do a meditation practice in a couple of minutes, and I'll reference those. So just take a moment to look these over. And as you can see, they're all different kinds of things. And again, when you get the slides, there is a link here to 130 gratitude prompts if you would like to look at more. But it's actually from a really good website that I came across by another gratitude researcher and instructor. And so there's not just the prompts, they have a number of things on the website, so you might want to take a look at that. So maybe pick one or two that stand out to you. Whatever it is, these are just kind of prompts to help us get to thinking about what makes us grateful. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's hard to just automatically turn it on and be grateful and think of those things. So that's why I kind of put this list up. Okay. So moving forward, this includes small things. So sometimes we should express our gratitude for the small and simple things, like the scent of the rain, the taste of your favorite food, or the sound of a loved one's voice. So keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be the big, grandiose kinds of things. Yes, of course, they're very important to us. But as you begin to practice, and I hope maybe you'll take this and some of the other things that we've been doing as a springboard to doing some daily practices, or maybe just even a weekly practice. Another idea is to have someone to do these with, to share through a social media or a text, group text kind of a thing, or just have a gratitude buddy to share some of these things with, to help make us accountable. So at this point, I'm going to lead you in a gratitude meditation. It's not too long. I think it should take us about 6 or 7 minutes. And first, I don't know if you've done with me or others, there's lots of mindfulness types of practices and meditations out there these days. We're going to start with just some simple mindfulness grounding ways to kind of get centered and focused, and then we'll get into the gratitude prompts of the overall meditation. So the first step is simply to find a position that's really comfortable and relaxed, and be kind to your body. So whatever position that is for you, so just take a moment to adjust. Should be sitting in a way that you're really relaxed and comfortable, but also so that you can be attentive and alert. And if you like, you can close your eyes. A lot of people find it helpful to close the eyes completely, but some folks also find it helpful to just keep your eyes slightly open with a downward, unfocused gaze. And first, we're going to bring our awareness into our body and just feel what it feels like to sit and do nothing, kind of on purpose, just to take this break for ourselves. Can even be grateful for that, just to just sit for a few moments quietly and just reflect on the good things in our lives. But before we get into that, just feel into the body, feel the body being grounded through your feet, feel the weight of the body in the chair that you're sitting in. Let the arms and hands rest comfortably. You might want to relax certain areas like the shoulders and the jaw. Some areas where there might be a little bit of tension, just let those areas soften and relax. All as a way to kind of gather ourselves and our attention right here, right now. And we can also use the breath. So taking a few moments to tune into our breathing. So feel the body breathing. Feel the natural inflow and outflow of each breath. And you might want to deepen your breathing a bit so that you're taking a few deeper breaths, longer inhale, and an even longer exhale. Do that a couple more times just to help ourselves relax and feel the breath more directly. And as you do that, just see where you really feel the breath. And part of this practice is that whenever you notice that the mind wanders, and it will, it always does, when you find yourself distracted and the mind has pulled you away, that's fine. Don't worry about that. Just notice that and redirect your attention back to the next breath or to your body again, that feeling of the body being grounded, or to the gratitude prompt that we're going to start in just a moment. Okay? So what are you truly thankful for? Now here you might bring up those one or two things that we thought of before, and just take a moment to reflect on those and spend a little bit of time, maybe just picking one if you like, or something else has come to mind perhaps that you're truly thankful for. And again, just spend 10, 15, 20 seconds thinking about it, reflecting on it, why you're grateful for this person, place, or thing, whatever it is. And it might be a person who supported you, a mentor, or a teacher, or a colleague, or a family member. And if that's the case, if you're reflecting on a person, why are you grateful for them? Go a little bit deeper and explore the circumstances. Or it might be something in your life, like your home, or something that gives you a sense of warmth or comfort. Maybe even your car or a place where you feel warm and comfortable and relaxed. And again, take a moment or so to appreciate it. You might also explore a quality of yours. Sometimes we overlook this, but just looking at yourself, what's something you did for someone, perhaps? A quality of yours that you're grateful for. And when you do that, when you express that quality, how does it make you feel? Where do you notice that in the body? And remember to keep focusing on the breath a little bit. Helps to re-center ourselves, feeling the breath flowing in and out as we do this. I'm going to give you a few more things to be thinking about, to reflect on. It's easy to forget that we're alive and breathing. And so the breath really helps us remember that. And we may even experience pain, though, but in many ways we have a healthy life compared to other people. So focusing on the things in our health and our body that work for us, that we are grateful for. Think about the freedoms you have that many in this world don't get to experience, and the opportunities that are available to you. Think about your relationships. So maybe expand that circle of relationships of people who are supportive throughout your life. Think of the people who have been kind to you, family and friends and coworkers who have supported you. Remember the teachers that have encouraged and taught you and inspired you to learn. How much you depend on the cooperation and support of other people. Just thankfulness that we're alive and how amazing that is, the gift of life. That we woke up this morning, we're able to get out of bed, thankful for the bed we slept in, for the home we have. May we be thankful for the fact that we have food to eat, clean water to drink, for all the supports in our society, our farmers that produce the food, for the factories and machines packing the food and keeping it safe, for the people who transport it to the stores and all the people in the stores that help us and allow us to choose the food that we have. The air in which it grows, the sun which gives it heat, rain which waters it. For all these blessings, may we be filled with thanks. May we be thankful for the benefits of civilization, education, healthcare, transport, communications, scientific advances that we take for granted at times, but without which life would be unimaginably more difficult. For all these blessings, may we be filled with thanks. And of course, there are days when life seems to go against us, days when we feel low and suffer feelings of loss even. And there are the ordinary everyday irritations, traffic jams, people going against us. And in these moments, let us recall all the benefits of our life, all the things we can and should be thankful for. Now, it may be that you're not feeling so grateful at this moment, and that's okay. Just notice where you are and make a wish or intention to feel gratitude. And help us come back into the present moment. And when I find it and when I'm there, it helps to fill us with contentment and peace. And before the closing thought, thank you for joining in this short period of meditation. I hope you found it thankful. Let us go out into the world filled with hope for the future, remembering these words. Even if we know that tomorrow the world would go to pieces, we still would have hope and we would still plant an apple tree. So may it be with us. May we all be filled with gratitude and loving kindness. May we all be safe from inner and outer dangers. May we all be well and safe in mind and body. And may we all be at ease and at peace. And may we all be happy. And before we close, just take a moment to notice how that all feels. Maybe feel into the breath again for a moment. Feel your body in the chair. And when you're ready, as we finish, you can open up your eyes. They've been closed as we begin to move on to the rest of our day. Well, thank you for participating in that. I have a few more slides to just show you some different resources and some different things that you can try out. I'd love to hear what you thought of that. If you want to put any comments in the chat, or if you have any questions, please let me know. And, moving on here, just some quick gratitude pauses. Sometimes we don't have time to do a full meditation. We do have meditations on our EFR page, and there are lots of resources for that. I'll show you some things that you can look for. But these are just quick pauses that you can try. Again, just as we breathe, appreciating the breath and being alive, scanning the body, and again, focusing on what's good about the body. So sometimes we focus on what we're not happy with, but focus on what's really working and what we appreciate about the body. Savoring, so taking some time. Nature is a good way to do this. Whatever you just notice in the course of daily life, something positive, take a few moments. It doesn't take long, 15 to 20 seconds to really focus and savor on that positive experience. Sometimes we take photos of those things, and so you might create a gratitude photo album in your phone or something like that. So that's a great way. And remember to share these things with others. And who are you grateful to? Maybe you came up with some thoughts about different people in your life that you're grateful for, and why, and then tell them, share that with them a little bit. All right, thank you for that. Nice break, appreciate that. And so here's another quick practice that you can try. It's the 3 good things practice. It's something that they did some studies on. So all it really comes down to is at the end of the day, at the end of your work day or later in the day, think of 3 good things that went well during the day. That's all it really comes down to. It does help to write it down or to share it with somebody or to text it to somebody in some way to just, record it. Okay, so instead of focusing on what didn't go so well, what went well for you, and write those down. What they found is that when people did that for a week or two, they really had some lasting effects of how their health, rather their well-being and their happiness. So really effective practice. Here are some links to 3 relatively brief videos. And I love this quote. It's not happiness that makes us grateful. It's gratefulness that makes us happy. So as you can see, there are a couple of TED Talks and a couple of YouTube videos. Check those out. And again, I will post the slides But we'll finish with this quote from Oprah Winfrey: "Be thankful for what you have, you'll end up having more. And if you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough." So just a reminder about our EFR, Employee and Family Resources, provides a full range of supportive counseling, work-life resources, and other services. You can either call to get started through that toll-free number 24/7, or you can use the link here to start, or even just to explore. There's a whole section on gratitude, in fact, with a number of different resources under the well-being resources. Just search for gratitude. We're still doing our Take 10 phone meditation, so 5 days a week. If you don't know about this, would love to have you join us sometime on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at noon, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2. All you do is call in that toll-free number. Meditation lasts about 10 minutes, and all you have to do is find a quiet place to sit and listen. And we also have an app from EFR that's on that same homepage at the Carillon Wellbeing site. You just scroll down, you'll see that it says M Life or E Mindful, and that's where you register for that. And that also has some great gratitude practices on there. And I want to tell you about, if you don't know about it, we have a relatively new health coaching through Thrive. We have 2 excellent health coaches who are available for free, confidential, one-to-one coaching. Most of this is done virtually, but they do have offices, I believe, in New Haven. So I think there's a possibility of seeing them face-to-face, but I think most of it's done one-to-one. But you can contact them through that email address on the bottom, thrivehealthcoaching@ynhh.org. And you can talk to them about any one of those health goals that you might have. So free to all employees. You don't need to be in the health plan to take advantage of this. Again, all employees are welcome. And these also count for, and today's session also, as a matter of fact, count toward Know Your Numbers credits. So they're under the personal choice activities after you do the other, the biometric screening and I think there's a health assessment. But there are some other activities that you can do, and these classes do count towards that, and also doing health coaching also does. This is where all our information is under Thrive. If you go to the departments and communities on the intranet and then go to T, you'll see Thrive, and what will open up is this kind of honeycomb thing. Our EFR information is under My Wellbeing. Also has a section called Live and Recorded Resources, and that's where I'm going to put the recording as well as the slides if you want to access them later. So that's Live and Recorded Resources, and you'll see that when you click into the Thrive site. So with that, I'll say thanks so much for joining me. Really appreciate you coming. I see there's another comment there, just a thank you. Thank you for your thank you. Appreciate it. So with that, I'll say namaste to you all, and peace be with you. And hope you found this helpful. Let me know afterwards. I'll be on for a couple of minutes after I stop the record if you have any questions, or if you wanted to know anything more about those additional resources. Well, thanks, everybody. Thank you for those words of gratitude. Appreciate it. Hope you have a great day. Take good care.